Hi, I think I'm 21 weeks pregnant today, so I guess this is going to be a bit of a pregnancy update, bit of an honest vlog about what pregnancy is like. I am going to preface all of this with I know that I am very, very lucky to be pregnant. I know that I am very lucky that fertility has never been an issue for us. We were concerned that it might be at one point, just because of family history, but it wasn't, and we're incredibly lucky, and I'm incredibly grateful, and I cannot wait to meet this little girl that is inside of me right now. I'm really looking forward to it. Everything that I'm about to say does not negate what I just said. That is how I feel, but I also have to be honest, and I think other people who have been pregnant will understand everything I'm about to say. Pregnancy sucks. It really sucks. I mean, I have never enjoyed being pregnant, not once. I mean, this is my third time, but we're batting zero at this point. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy being tired all the time. And you are tired all the time. Now it's bad enough looking after two children. One's 5, one's 3, and they are insane, and it is really difficult looking after them, and it takes a lot of energy doing that whilst also maintaining a household, cooking for everybody and taking care of everybody, and just generally never really getting a day off. It's incessant and difficult, and then on top of that you throw what is essentially a parasite into your body, which will drain all of your energy from you, and you've still got to function like a human being. I can't just, there's no like magic fairy I get to call who will take over all of the other things that are going on in my life while I build a child. No, I have to do that on top. And yeah, it's exhausting. And oh God, it's so exhausting. It's so tiring. And it's always because there's this thing that happens when you start to feel the baby kick, which, going back to what I said before, is great and wonderful and really exciting, but it's the time of day they decide to do it. Because the thing is, when you're walking about, it actually kind of rocks the baby, so they kind of go to sleep during the day when you're walking about and doing things. At nighttime, you tend to be lying still, not walking about, and so the baby wakes up. And what do babies do when they're awake? They move their legs, their arms. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, the baby is inside of me going, arms up into my rib cage. Actually, I think based on what I've seen in the scans, it's feet up into my rib cage, hands down into my hips, and head sort of nuzzling in the pelvis. It's not comfortable, and it keeps you up, and it's very distracting when you are trying to sleep. And I find it exhausting just trying to get it to go back to sleep. Now, on top of that, we have also got hay fever in the house. I have bad hay fever, and in pregnancy, there's not a lot you can take for it. It has gotten so bad, though, that the doctor has now said that I can take one tablet a day at night time on the days when pollen count is particularly high, just so that I can get some sleep, because I got to the point where I'd had a week of basically 1 or 2 hours sleep a night, and I mean, you just can't function on that. So we're at that point now, so I'm trying to be careful and try not to sort of get too dependent on them, but we are having a really bad pollen season this year, and I need something. I need something to help, because I can't just take a topical treatment. It's not just the nose and the eyes. It's like itchiness right inside my skin, and it's horrendous, and so I need something a little bit sort of more internal to help treat it. But Rufus has also been having bad hay fever. Eloise has got it for the first time this year. So there's been a lot of wakeful nights with them being blocked up, unable to breathe properly, needing a little bit of extra love and care and attention. So Muggins here is the one that often has to wake up in the night. And yeah, it means that I don't often get a full night's sleep. So it is a really exhausting time. And of course, a couple of weeks ago, we were all sick with a tummy bug, so we've had that as well. So it's kind of been one thing after another. Hopefully we're coming out the other side of it now. Well, hay fever might not. We've probably got another couple of weeks of hay fever, but it's all fun and games. So yeah, so there's tiredness. The other thing is that I'm just like I've spoken about this before in previous videos. I have issues with my weight and with eating, and I've never had anything diagnosed. Always very clear to point that out. I've never been diagnosed with an eating disorder, but I definitely have tendencies towards that. I monitor what I eat very closely. When you're pregnant, it's much harder. Now, technically, you don't actually have to eat more than you were eating before. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. You don't. Until you get to about the third trimester, and then you might want to increase it a little bit, but only by about 200 calories. So, yeah, so basically you're kind of eating what you always were, but probably don't actually feel hungrier than you did before. So the meals that you eat need to be more filling, and you kind of have to do the little and often approach rather than 3 standard meals, which is fine if you are at home on your own, but if you are going out with friends or family who have booked like a lunch, it's a bit harder to kind of fit your small meals around the schedule of other people who are more used to the standard breakfast, lunch, dinner. So yeah, it can be challenging. But yeah, I mean, just being hungry all the time is really annoying because I don't actually enjoy eating. I don't enjoy the process of it that much because of all of my issues with it. And it's really hard to monitor your calorie intake as well because you're picking here, you're picking there, because you're feeling hungry and you're feeling tempted to things and you're craving things. And I found in all my pregnancies that I crave savoury things more, and I crave sharp citrusy flavours and spicy flavours, which are not my things normally. And I have a real aversion to things like cakes and cookies and stuff like that. So it's the idea that you get to splash out on all the food you don't normally eat. Well, that is the case with me. It's just that now it's spicy food, which just gives me heartburn and indigestion and bad tummy afterwards. So it's a fun balancing act. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that, which is great. But yeah, I don't enjoy that at all. I don't enjoy my changing body. I don't embrace it at all. We went to a hotel the other day. We went to Legoland over the weekend. We stayed in a hotel, and great hotel. I have to say, I was really impressed. And the hotel had like a full-length mirror. So for the first time in years, because we don't have a full-length mirror in the house, for the first time in years, I'd actually seen myself completely naked in a full-length mirror. And I have to say, it's terrifying because your body shape, it's not like you just get a bump. Your whole shape changes, like the whole way your body, let's say your body is normally like that. When you're pregnant, you get like the bump out in front here, but then your butt goes out there, so you kind of get this kind of weird sort of that kind of shape. It's very specific. You get a real curve in your back, basically. And I have found in my last pregnancy and this pregnancy, a lot of the weight gets carried on my butt and my thighs. So it's a really unattractive look for me. I mean, my husband thinks it's great, he loves it, but I personally am not comfortable with it because it's not the way I like my body to look, and because of my issues, I have a real control problem with how I want my body to look. So there's all of that going on too. And yeah, it's just very uncomfortable as well. I mean, it's all the small things. Like most people sort of stay one sort of size once they get to sort of adulthood. People don't tend to fluctuate huge amounts on a regular basis. Like they might have one period in time where they just lose a lot of weight, but then they kind of stay around that same weight loss target for the rest of their lives, kind of thing. People don't tend to put on huge amounts of weight and then lose huge amounts of weight over and over and over again. That's quite rare that people do that. But pregnancy kind of is that. Pregnancy is putting on a lot of weight, putting on, maybe about 3 stones, something like that. and then losing it, and then putting it back on when you get pregnant again, and then losing it. So you don't, and you do it relatively quickly as well. I mean, it's all, you're going to put it all on in 9 months, and which is a relatively quick amount of time to put on that amount of weight, especially if you're not someone who does a lot of weight gain and weight loss. And so when you know your size and you know how you fit into things, and how you fit into the world in your size, you have a sense of, like, if you see, you know, you go to a restaurant, you see tables relatively close together and the chairs are quite close together, you know, oh, I can fit through that gap, or I can't fit through that gap, so I'm going to go that way around. When you're pregnant, you lose your sense of that, and so then you just feel huge all the time, because you can't as easily judge what you can and can't fit into in terms of, like, spaces and gaps and you know, what have you. And so you end up just sort of bouncing off things and bumping into things way more than you usually do. It really, really messes with your head. I know that it seems ridiculous, but it really does, because you suddenly realise quite how out of touch with your body you are. And it can hurt as well if you bump your tummy in just the wrong place. Ooh. Because if you bump the tummy and you also hit the baby inside, the baby then rebounds onto your organs, and it's all just very uncomfortable. Oh, and that's the other thing. The baby has no respect for your organs. It thinks that your kidneys are like punching bags, that, you know, your bladder is a cushion to get comfy on. It just goes to town. And we were in McDonald's the other day, and we were sitting there having dinner, and I actually couldn't eat because I eventually ate because, you know, I was hungry. But for a moment I couldn't eat because the baby was moving, and in its process of moving, it was actually felt like it was pushing against my diaphragm. Now, I'm not very good with my biology and exactly where all my things are, so I'm not entirely sure whether it was my diaphragm, but it felt like I couldn't breathe, and it felt like there was quite a lot of pressure sort of just in, like, sort of where your bra strap would normally go. And it's not even exactly painful, it's just such an alien feeling that it really stops you in your tracks. And so, yeah, I had that was fun. And you just get these weird things, and you get things like leg cramp in the middle of the night when you wouldn't normally get leg cramp in the middle of the night, and all sorts of things like that. It's all crazy and out of control all the time, and I just hate it. I really hate it. I really, look forward to it being over, which is a shame, because this is the last time that I intend on being pregnant. We're not going to, as far as I'm concerned, I don't want a fourth child. So we're not going to be actively trying for one. Obviously, accidents happen, but I don't plan to actively try for one. And so I would like to enjoy this pregnancy more. So I don't know, maybe as it progresses further, maybe I'll find ways to enjoy it more. But I'm 21 weeks now, so I'm over halfway. Yeah, and I think knowing that it's the last and being over halfway, there's sort of a sense that I kind of want to document it all, even the bad stuff, because I think it's all important and it's all part of it, and it reminds you, like, it will remind me when the baby is born how appreciative I am of the birth process and getting to the other end of it, and it feels more like an accomplishment when you remember how hard of a struggle pregnancy can be. But again, I have to say over and over again, I am very lucky to be pregnant. I am very grateful that I am pregnant, and I know how special it is. It would just be nice if it was slightly more of a pleasant experience, just a tiny bit, because you also have to they got a confirmed case of slap cheek at school. So I've now, at Rufus's school, so I've now got to go to the doctor to have a blood test to check that I haven't got slap cheek. It's all those things, like, things happen, and, there was, like, quite a big outbreak of chickenpox at his school the other week, so I had to check. I didn't really go near any other children in the school, just in case, because although I've had chickenpox, I've also had shingles, which means I'm probably just a little bit more inclined towards the infection, so I could well get it again. So, the rule is stay away. So yeah, it's fun. It's great. I love it. Yeah, you don't get to forget for a second, really. Although my midwife asked me earlier when my due date was, and I literally couldn't remember. I was like, I think, and that's definitely a third child thing or a subsequent pregnancy thing. You just lose track completely. And I have an app on my phone that helps remind me of what week I'm on, which is the only way that I know what week I'm on. So thank God for apps. There's an app for that. Alright, well that is it for me today. Sorry it was a bit whiny, a bit whingy. But it's good to be honest. And I will talk to you all again soon. If you want to hear more from me about pregnancy antics, raising children antics, or just general life antics, please hit subscribe and click the bell notification or the bell button for notifications on when I post videos. And if you like this video, please click the thumbs up. And if you would like to add a comment or let me know how you find pregnancy, because I would love to know if there are people out there who genuinely enjoy every minute of it, that would be great. Please let me know in the comments below. Other than that, I will see you next time. Bye.